Hi, Gerald. For this intro, I want to make you listen to the sound of me eating corn. So here it goes. Sounds cool, right? This is vlog number 9. The topic for this vlog is presentation tips in conferences and defenses. This was brought about by what happened this week. One of my students emailed me asking for tips on how to present to a conference that he will be attending next week. And at the same time, I've been informed that the defenses of the senior students that we have who are enrolled in senior capstone and senior thesis is gonna be coming up soon. So I said, what the heck, maybe try to create a video that summarizes tips that I have for those types of presentation. Here it goes. I have 10 in total. Tell me what is your favorite, and if you have tips of your own, put it in the comments so that this becomes a resource for tips, general resource for tips of that kind. So number 1, I have some notes here again. Remember that your audience's time is precious. This means you do not talk about unnecessary things. So your measure of success during this presentation is really if you're able to communicate your whole idea using the least amount of words possible. Number 2, communicate your big ideas using sentences that an 8-year-old could understand. Remember that you are not presenting to impress. You're presenting to transfer an idea that you have in your head to people who might be hearing your field of work for the very first time. Even your panelists who might be experts in the field that you've chosen to pursue might be hearing of what you're trying to do for the first time. So it is your task to make it as digestible as possible. Use sentences that 8-year-old kids could understand in communicating the biggest of your ideas. Number 3, actually say that you're excited about the thing that you're going to present. My go-to opener would always be something along the lines of, "Hi, I'm really excited to be presenting what we have been working on as a team for the past few months." That kind of sets up the stage, and your audience picks up on this energy. It sets the frame of your presentation. Remember that no one wants to hear a speaker who's just trying to survive on stage. The audience that you have wants to be entertained. If you're not excited about the thing that you're trying to present, find a way to get excited. If it's too late to change topics, find a way to get excited. Or if you still have time, change topics into something that makes you feel excited. You cannot always get the topic you want, but maybe you can score a topic that's close to what you want so that you can feel excitement about it just a little bit, so that you can draw on that energy when you are now presenting. Set the frame for the audience. Number 4, on that note, never ever dwell on the hardships that you had to go through in order to present what you are trying to present. Your panelists, as well as your audience, if you're in the conference, signed up for a presentation, not a drama. Number 5 is involve your audience. Always make it a point to finish your presentations earlier than expected so that you have room for questions. Tell your audience, "Hey, I'm finished. I purposely ended it earlier so that we would have room to discuss. I am open for questions." When a panelist or someone from the audience asks a question and you have been talking about it for a while and it's not reaching conclusion, try to invite that person over for lunch. Talk about it over lunch. Invite your panel to, "Hi sir, do you want to talk about this over lunch? I really want to get your inputs on this." You want to be able to use their dissenting points to strengthen your future work. Do not assume the worst in people. Your panelists and the audience that are asking questions are not out to get you. They simply want to know. So your job is to be patient in repeating and really trying to get everyone to be on the same page as yours. You're communicating an idea that's abstract in your head. It's normal for people to have a delay in picking things up. And it's normal for them to have clarifications about what it is you intend to do. Treat them as 8-year-old kids who just really want to know. Be patient in explaining, and be vigilant in listening to their side. If there are participants or panelists who are foreign, try to speak at a slower pace. If you're presenting for a defense, losing your panelists would mean that they would have more questions later on because they weren't able to follow what you're trying to tell them. If it's in a conference, you will slowly see that your audience will disengage because they cannot anymore follow what it is you're trying to tell them. What I normally do is I record my normal speaking voice and then play it back in VLC at 0.85 speed. That's the speed I use and maintain when I'm presenting to a crowd with non-native English speakers. And this is not really to say that they cannot follow what I'm telling them. This has something to do with me. I am not a native English speaker, so it might be that this English is not comprehensible. So I have to slow down so that they have time to digest this funny, weird English thing that I have going on. So be considerate with your foreign audiences. Number 7 is really for conferences, not so much about defenses. I'll try to see if I can tie it up. Remember that a conference is not a defense. You should not be feeling the same tension that you felt when you were just defending this as a proposal, because you've already done the work. In conferences, really what you just have to do is tell them what you did and what you found out. That's it. That's the whole thing. You cannot extrapolate. You cannot talk about bigger ideas than what was really done. You can just tell them, this is what I did. This is what I found out. Thank you. Do you have questions? That's it. That is all you can do. Focus on that. Number 8, a day before your presentation, envision this presentation as the most important thing in your life right now. Steve Jobs calls this the reality distortion field. Your primary focus and your primary goal should be this presentation. Treat it as if it's the only job you have. Number 9, remember that you are already a winner. I know this is hard to do, especially if you're just trying to propose your defense, but hear me out a bit. You have reached a point where your work is now worthy enough of being presented. With the help of your advisor, you have now refined this work into something that could be presented in 45 minutes. That's the whole reason why you're doing RRL, in order for you to know the big theories encompassing your work, and then try to create something that limits that into a bite-sized piece that could be understood by people when you tell it to them. That's it. You're done. I mean, I'm not saying you're done. You have something to show. And that something to show required a lot of iteration, a lot of revision, and you should be proud of that nugget. If you presented and you killed the audience, or even if you bombed during presentation, it has no bearing on your ability to iterate and work on future research. Number 10, and this is the final point, remember to treat yourself after you have successfully presented. We are creatures that respond to reward and punishment, even if we try so hard not to. You have to celebrate its positive reinforcement, and you really, really have to celebrate. Sometimes we have a tendency to scold ourselves very much when we do something that's wrong. But when we do something that's right, our celebration is it's bad practice, because you're trying to reinforce the bad things more than you are reinforcing the good things that you're doing. And that's dangerous, because whatever it is that you pay more attention to, it grows. You have to celebrate your courage, your focus, and your capacity to step in front of a crowd. Celebrate after your presentation. Your body will pick up on this positive reinforcement. It will go, okay, so presentation is good. I am rewarded for having presented. I am rewarded for having the courage to speak. I am rewarded for putting in the work. I am rewarded for going through the hard process of iteration. This is the fuel that I will use to do more of these things. And you start this cycle of positive feedback that will help you continue the project later on. I believe that's it for my 10 points. Let me know which one is your favorite. Let me know if there's something that you disagree with. Try to add things to this, Gerald, because you have already gone through the tedious tasks of defenses and whatnot. And maybe if you're going to be presenting to a crowd sometime later, then I hope these things help. So that is it for my vlog number 9. Let's keep on learning, and I'll see you next week.